So I know we just started stream, but I want to talk. So I want to talk about this stuff. So, okay. So my thoughts on the feature premiere. I got to watch, well, mostly listen. I played it while I was driving in the car. I didn't look at it. I was just listening to it. Girl, I give it 10 months, man. I had it for the first 35 minutes. I had it playing in my car. So I listened. And I got to say a couple things. One, we definitely got graphic changes. From all the clips that I've seen, it doesn't look like it's the same. It looks the same. It looks actually like the game's the physics look a little interesting too. Maybe it's just from the moments. Looks a little bit more graphically polished, but a little bit slower, like more hyper realism type approach. We'll see if I'm right about that. UI is clean. Like the new UI. Looks like Madden screens. Maybe I'm wrong, but it kind of reminds me of Madden. That's 2. 3, Bernie Williams is great. Can't wait for that. Paul O'Neill, Andy Pettit, great. 4, objectively speaking, a lot of Yankee glazing. But it was the Jeter storyline, so I guess I don't really care, but it was just a little interesting. And I like what I saw. I like the features. I like their discussion on storylines about what they want to do with the mode. I think it's cool, the things they're doing. I do. I like everything I've seen so far. I like the pinpoint flip for lefties now, which is nice. If I had something, okay, so this is what stood out to me. The most prevailing thing about that entire premiere, to me, was the production value. From an MLB the Show fan, I could not care less about what I saw in a bad way. I think it was solid. But from a content creator perspective, that shit was giving me the itches, bro. The same graphic on a GIF repeating just over and over and over and over again over a Zoom call. I think the host did a good job. I think he asked a bunch of good questions. I think it's inexcusable that you have a Zoom call for that. And not to mention, it's a Zoom call with no faces, no corresponding graphics, really. Occasional gameplay footage that was just really not relevant. And dogs barking in the background and shit, like, what? We gotta ship these dudes at SDS like a Blue Yeti or something, bro. Why are we getting on with the Connect mic? I got love for y'all over at SDS, but we gotta get you guys some microphones. You guys have Connect mics. I mean, you guys are a media company. The production on that has to be better, bro. One last negative about the production of the stream that it's actually the creative direction. It was literally a Zoom call, but it was also creatively a Zoom call. I mean this in the most lovely way, like no disrespect, but knowing your consumers is knowing that bringing on 3 people who work on UI design to speak for 30 minutes and hearing a bunch of about UI of the game. It's just not knowing your audience. People are there for legends, gameplay, footage, all that shit in between, graphic stuff. While the real true video game hardos might be fans of the UI stuff, and I respect and appreciate their work, you just have to understand that the people who are watching this premiere are not going to care about that. That's kind of it. I had actually a bigger concern with the overall production of it compared to everything else. It actually wasn't even the content that I saw necessarily. Everything I saw, the few things we heard and saw about the game, I liked. That literally felt to me when I was listening, and Matt was, I picked up Matt to go to the movies because he can't drive with his leg. He gets in the car, he goes, bro, what the f is that audio? Like the second he walked in, he even know what's going, he's like, what is that audio? He goes, what is happening? I'm like, this is, this is their feature premiere, bro? What? Like, I'll give you guys an example. Like, as a content creator, this has nothing to do with MLB the Show. It's a content perspective. I made a video on OhChev Reborn about free-to-play video games. I made it all myself. I got everything done in that video myself. I wrote the script, I voiced it over, and I edited all the videos to respectively go along with what I was saying. That is like baseline content creator. Like, you have to have a visual with what you're saying, either of the person speaking or of the subject at hand. But having a GIF on loop of just a subway and occasionally showing Jeter's face is retention hell. But again, I liked the host. His mic was great. He asked really good questions for the most part when it was an interesting segment. Tried to get a little teasers out of people. I thought that was great. I just don't know if bringing in people who aren't used to speaking publicly on camera with no face attached and no respective graphic about UI intricacies and coding mechanisms just was not the move for me. Not what I would have put down on that. I don't think that was a feature premiere, to be honest. I think the Jeter segment was a trailer with them like hyping it up. like a movie trailer talking about this stuff, talking about Jeter. Maybe Colin doing a voiceover. I think that was the guy who did it, right? Voicing it over. That would have been cool. The rest of that shit should have been in a press, like an article or something on their website. I don't think that was enough substance for a feature premiere. And normally, I don't really care about shit like this, but I'm just saying because the prevailing narrative around these feature premieres the last couple of weeks have been just a vastly negative one. And I'm trying to offer my opinion because I don't think they're doing themselves any favors. Now, if they don't care, all power to them, and I respect that. And not care about my opinion, I'm saying just care about what other people are saying. If they're just doing their thing, fine, go for it. I actually like a minimalist approach to promotional material if you have the guaranteed material to back it up. But I don't think even with that baseline, the floor of just showing very few but really good things is being met consistently. Like, people don't want to hear about, like, I mean, I like hearing about what Jeter was like and how that interview went, but you gotta show something from the interview, bro. Like a video or something with that. You can't just have a rotating GIF. But again, from what I can understand, I feel like that guy had to do a lot of scrap work with what he was given. He probably had a framework, and then he just had to piece together things. Tough job. His mic was great. His questions were solid. I like that. I even like the direction, I guess, of this storyline for each feature premiere. I just think the execution technically wasn't there. I have a right to give an opinion. They have the right to tell me to f off. Who cares? That's how that works. But let me know what you guys think, man. Again, I'm really trying to cut this in half here. My beef with that premiere wasn't anything to do with the content of the game. I actually like everything I saw. It was pretty hard to sit through. And I shouldn't, as a content creator or a fan of the game, I should be bummed I missed that, especially for a reaction perspective. I was glad I had something to do last night, bro. Like, I went to the Demon Slayer movie with Matt and we had a good time. They should have like if they want to make a real Subway experience, they should have like I think the first premiere was absolutely a premiere. I think the second one should have been a trailer for like a 2-minute trailer about Jeter, specifically a movie style trailer. And then the rest should have been dropped on the website. We're in the age of short form, vertical media, and retention being the number one thing. We have to cut these things down. We're still doing these like they're 2010. But, you know, people are pretty pessimistic about what they're going to see in the game. Again, I like what I've seen so far. It's not been a lot, but I like what I've seen. I like the UI changes. It looks different. Bro, I'm kind of with you on that, man. I never understood why graphics matter that much in a game that's about performance. But people don't understand the relationship between graphical resolution and like how much power that takes and render power and how that affects performance. Like, you are less likely to turn on a fastball the better the game looks and the more assets though. I want my Create Stadium to have Hogwarts in the back. Well, good luck turning on a sinker, bro. But they don't understand the relationship to that. And that's okay. But it's important to remember that or to learn this.